Breaking news, guys. Breaking news, man. Lil Jon's son is missing. I got the news from my girl, Reality TV, who is from Georgia.
John's worst fear as a parent became reality one quiet morning, and now a disturbing video has people deeply unsettled. Early that day, John's son left his home with no phone, no shoes, and no personal belongings. He has not been seen since. What has intensified public concern is a video that recently went viral, allegedly shared by rivals of Lil Jon. Many believe it may have been a chilling message directed at his father. This case represents every parent's nightmare. On the morning of February 3, 2026, around 6 a.m., a 27-year-old man walked out of his house in Milton, Georgia, a peaceful, well-off community about 30 miles north of downtown Atlanta. According to police, he appeared confused or disoriented. He did not take his phone. He did not bring a wallet, shoes, or any personal items. He did not drive away, leave a note, or tell anyone where he was going. He simply walked out the front door, headed toward the intersection of Baldwin Drive and Mayfield Road, and vanished into the early morning darkness. The man's name is Nathan Murray Smith, known professionally as DJ Young Slade. He is the son of Jonathan Smith, the world-famous Grammy-winning, multi-platinum producer and rapper known globally as Lil Jon. Within hours, the Milton Police Department issued an official missing person alert. Nathan's photo and physical description were shared across social media and with law enforcement agencies throughout the region. One detail made the case especially urgent. Police warned that Nathan may be disoriented and in need of help. Because he left without his phone, no one could contact him, and he had no way to call for help himself. He carried no identification and had no means of communication at all. Authorities emphasized that he posed no danger to the public, but they asked anyone who saw him to contact police immediately rather than approach him directly, so officers could conduct a welfare check. Local media quickly picked up the story. Fox 5 Atlanta was among the first to report the alert, confirming Nathan was last seen near Baldwin Drive in Milton. WSB-TV followed with video coverage, highlighting concerns for his safety. Within just 24 hours, the story spread far beyond Georgia. NBC News ran a national report outlining the circumstances of his disappearance. People magazine shared the family's request for privacy and prayers, publishing a 2016 photo of Lil Jon and his son that showed their close relationship. USA Today reported that family representatives described the situation as an unimaginably difficult time and asked for public support. BET focused on the family's distress and police concerns about Nathan's mental state. The Hollywood Reporter added that Lil Jon was estranged from Nathan's mother, Nicole Smith, introducing another complicated layer to an already painful situation. As the news spread, reactions flooded social media and YouTube. Commentary channels began discussing the case almost immediately. On Boss Talk TV, the host broke the story to viewers, adding to the growing wave of concern and speculation surrounding Nathan's sudden disappearance.
Guys, breaking news, man. Lil Jon's son is missing. I got the news from my girl, Reality TV, who is from Georgia.
The hosts of Boss Talk TV quickly encouraged their audience to share the information and help raise awareness. They read directly from official police reports to confirm the basic facts of the case. After that, they referenced TMZ's coverage, noting that the outlet had also reported on the situation and helped bring national attention to the disappearance.
It seems that maybe he was, I'm not going to say, I don't know if he was under the influence of a drug or whatever, but he ran out of the house.
During the Boss Talk TV broadcast, one detail stood out as especially troubling. The hosts shared that a local outlet, Rough Draft Atlanta, was reporting an active police situation in Mayfield Park in Milton, the same area close to where Nathan was last seen. That update added a new level of urgency and concern to an already disturbing situation.
Lil Jon is dealing with a scary situation right now, TMZ said. His son, DJ Young Slade, has been reported missing in Georgia. The same thing, the Milton Police Department put out a missing persons alert Tuesday saying 28-year-old Slade, legal name Nathan Murray Smith, ran out of his home on foot and hasn't been seen since. And he doesn't have a phone. He may be disoriented and he could be in.
To truly understand why this disappearance carries so much weight, it's important to understand who Nathan Murray Smith is, not simply as Lil Jon's son, but as an individual with his own life and direction. Born in 1998, Nathan was surrounded by music from the very beginning. Lil Jon has often recalled that while his mother was pregnant, he could feel the baby kicking during studio sessions. His mother was a dancer, and his father was in the early stages of building the crunk sound that would later shape Southern hip-hop. As a toddler, Nathan even contributed vocals to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys' 2001 single, B.A.B., a detail that feels almost unreal when viewed alongside the career he later built himself. In high school, Nathan began producing beats. He later trained at the Scratch DJ Academy and attended New York University. Over time, he developed his skills carefully and deliberately, working as a DJ, producer, audio engineer, and eventually releasing music as an artist under the name DJ Young Slade. In recent years, his career showed real forward movement. He collaborated with his father on Lil Jon's 2024 guided meditation and hip-hop album, Total Meditation. They also worked together on tracks for Lil Jon's upcoming Farewell album. In March 2025, he released his single, Feels, which he actively promoted on Instagram under the handle @AYSlade. He appeared on MTV's Family Legacy, where he spoke about the moment he watched his father DJ, a moment that helped solidify his own path in music. He performed at major events like One Music Fest in Atlanta in 2025, worked with artists such as Jim Jones, and stayed closely connected to Atlanta's music scene. He also appeared alongside his father on Celebrity Family Feud. By every visible measure, Nathan was building something real. He was independently producing, recording, mixing, and performing his own work. Back on Boss Talk TV, the emotional tone shifted as the hosts absorbed the gravity of the situation. One host spoke openly about what it means to be a parent receiving news like this, the fear, the shock, and the helplessness. What made the moment even more haunting was a coincidence earlier in the same episode. Before the breaking news, the show had aired a previously recorded interview segment featuring DJ Young Slade himself, where he talked about growing up as Lil Jon's son. In that clip, Nathan described his father simply as Dad, a man who drinks tea at home and watches movies like anyone else. Seeing that calm, personal reflection placed side by side with a missing person alert issued just hours later by the Milton Police Department created a contrast that was deeply unsettling. This is not celebrity gossip. This is a family facing a real crisis. As of February 5, 2026, there have been no public updates confirming that Nathan Murray Smith has been found. Search efforts were continuing in nearby locations, including Mayfield Lake. Lil Jon has not spoken publicly beyond the family's request for prayers and privacy. The Boss Talk TV host summed up that silence with painful accuracy, describing the raw fear from a parent's point of view, the agony of knowing your child is somewhere out there, unreachable, while you are powerless to help. The discussion turned to the added frustration of being asked for answers you simply do not have. The conversation closed with a broader reflection. While public attention may focus on one well-known family,
when you sitting there trying to figure, you don't know. He didn't take his phone. He might have had on shoes, might have didn't have on shoes. He don't have no personal items. That's the weirdest thing right there, because now you got me worried. Now I'm worried about you because I don't know what the hell going on. What happened to my damn son is what I'm asking at that point. So, I mean, I just pray for Lil Jon, and I pray for the mother of the boy too, because she going through it. It ain't just Lil Jon because he got a name. It's family, brothers and sisters. Everybody's on high alert when somebody
references Lil Jon's ops, a term in hip-hop culture used to describe rivals or long-standing opposition. To be clear, there is no evidence whatsoever linking any past rivalries to Nathan Murray Smith's disappearance. Extensive reviews of news reports, social media discussions, and hip-hop coverage show no mention of DJ Young Slade being involved in any personal conflicts, disputes, or feuds. Authorities continue to treat this case primarily as a welfare and mental health concern, not as a criminal investigation. Still, the situation takes on a different emotional tone when you consider the unsettling footage now circulating and the previously recorded interview of Nathan speaking lovingly about his father, which is now being shared alongside missing person alerts. That contrast feels heavier when viewed against the backdrop of an industry where disputes can linger for decades and sometimes affect entire families. Jonathan Smith, known worldwide as Lil Jon, rose to prominence in Atlanta during the late 1990s and early 2000s as one of the most powerful voices in the crunk movement. As the frontman of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, he helped define an era with explosive anthems that dominated clubs and radio. Songs like Get Low, Bia Bia, and Throw It Up, along with his unmistakable ad-libs, Yeah and Okay, became cultural landmarks, famously parodied by Dave Chappelle and recognized around the world. Lil Jon's influence only expanded over time. He later produced Turn Down for What with DJ Snake, earned a Grammy, crossed into genres ranging from EDM to country, and managed to stay relevant in a rapidly changing industry for more than 2 decades. That level of success, especially in Atlanta's highly competitive southern rap scene, did not come without tension. The most well-documented conflict in Lil Jon's career involved Pastor Troy, born Micah LeVar Troy, another Atlanta rapper who built a loyal fan base through hard-edged, independent Southern hip-hop. The two artists collaborated on Throw It Up, a track from Lil Jon and the East Side Boys' 2002 album, Kings of Crunk. The song became Pastor Troy's biggest mainstream moment, giving him national exposure and placing him firmly in the spotlight. However, what followed created lasting frustration. In interviews over the years, most notably a 2021 appearance on Vlad TV, Pastor Troy expressed disappointment with how the collaboration unfolded. No official music video was produced for Throw It Up, something he attributed to label decisions. After the song's success, there were no follow-up collaborations. Pastor Troy has said he felt sidelined as Lil Jon's influence and business empire grew. He described not being invited back for additional projects and not receiving what he believed were fair opportunities after the song's impact. While he recalled being asked for a verse at one point, the interaction did not lead to renewed collaboration or mutual respect. In a 2022 interview on Revolt TV, Pastor Troy revisited these feelings while discussing the broader dynamics of Atlanta's crunk era. Those unresolved tensions eventually boiled over in 2006 when he released Murder Man 2 on his album By Choice or By Force. The track was a direct diss aimed at Lil Jon, his Black Market Entertainment (BME) label, and associated artists including Lil Scrappy and Crime Mob. The lyrics on that track were raw and confrontational. Pastor Troy directly named Lil Jon and his entire circle, airing years of built-up frustration and feelings of being overlooked. For Troy, the song became the main outlet for that conflict, his chance to permanently record his side of the story. The track spread through the Atlanta underground scene and among Southern rap fans, but it never received a response from Lil Jon. That silence spoke volumes. Lil Jon chose not to reply. He didn't release a diss track or address the situation publicly. Instead, he continued moving forward with his career, while the tension remained largely one-sided.
And Pastor Troy wasn't the only complicated relationship in Lil Jon's history. His working relationship with the Yin Yang Twins, known for crunk hits like Get Low and Salt Shaker, eventually became strained. Over time, disagreements surfaced around creative direction, song credit, and business arrangements. In later interviews and podcast appearances, the duo described feeling undervalued, claiming Lil Jon initially doubted Get Low and resisted certain creative choices. As the song became a massive success, they said the financial rewards and control did not feel evenly shared. This wasn't an open feud, but it was a documented professional rift that left lingering tension. Internal conflict also led to the breakup of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys after their 2004 album Crunk Juice. Disputes over money, contracts, and legal issues fractured the group. While Lil Jon went on to build a long solo career, the East Side Boys gradually faded from the spotlight. It was a business separation that left unresolved feelings among former collaborators. Additional friction surfaced